Hello and welcome back to the Chattercade podcast where I discuss and review media. I'm your host, Ranking Thomas Shoes, and today I'm reviewing a film that literally just came out. This is pretty much a last minute episode because I just haven't had the chance to record this episode, obviously, for this week when I was intending to do it. So this is literally like a day before it's due out, and I was like, fuck. I've got 5 minutes to spare here. I've woke up. I can't get back to sleep, it's quite warm. Despite the fact I'm wearing a beanie, but that's just to keep my hair in place because my hair is a fucking mess. Bedhead, am I right? So I thought, fuck it. I literally watched this movie yesterday, so I want to talk about it, and that is Jurassic World Rebirth, the 7th main installment in the Jurassic Park movie franchise. And I say main installment because, technically speaking, there are spin-off installments. I'm talking about the Battle for Summit Rock. I forgot what it's called off the top of my head. But the short film I did, which obviously is there to tie in the middle between Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, and then obviously you got the Camp Cretaceous and its sequel series Chaos Theory, which is just its own thing, which then ties itself into the main universe. So there's a lot of other media that's attached to this obviously franchise. But this is the 7th movie, feature-length movie at least, in the series. And it's the first one since 2022. Since 2022 was the last one, Jurassic World Dominion, which was supposed to be the last one. Which, of course, it's not going to be. It made so much fucking money at the box office, despite its negative reviews. And that just shows, despite the fact that people are like, oh, no, don't, this is shit. Obviously, the critics and that and some audience members are moaning that it's bad. It's a franchise that still makes its money. I mean, Fallen Kingdom did it as well. It still made like over $1 billion. I'm pretty certain this one also made slightly over $1 billion. So like all the trilogies just made enough money that they go, you know what? Let's go for it again. Let's go for it again. Let's jump in. Let's jump to the future, and let's bring in a whole new cast. Because that's what this does. It obviously brings in a new cast that includes the likes of Scotty Hansen, Jonathan Bailey, obviously there's many fucking more. But obviously the main focus here is a bunch of scientists. Not really a scientist, is he? Basically, they're someone linked to a corporation, a big businessman. This franchise has got a good track record with big businessmen, haven't they? None of them turn out to be evil in the end, apart from, Hammond and the guy from Jurassic World were fine. Everyone else, not so much. Obviously, he enlisted the help of an archaeologist, which is Jonathan Bailey's character, Scott Johansson, who's basically a mercenary, and they head off to go to the research facility for Jurassic World. And the whole aim is they need DNA and blood from 3 of the biggest dinosaurs: the mosasaur, the Quetzalcoatlus. I can never pronounce that name. And the Titanosaur. And then the whole point is their DNA and blood can help create drugs that can tackle heart disease and things like that. But of course, it's never that easy, and it's pretty much a battle for survival while also trying to complete their mission. So, obviously, this one brings in director Gareth Edwards, who is known for reviving the Godzilla franchise in 2014. He's done one of the best, well, if not the best, of the recent Star Wars movies, Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. Did that film The Creator a few years ago, which I still need to watch. Obviously, among a couple of other things, and obviously, I remember obviously reading that he was doing this, and he pretty much like jumped straight on it. It was like, yeah, I wanted Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, and honestly, I enjoyed it. I thought it was better than what I read from critics, because the critics' score is around the same as Fallen Kingdom, and Lost World's a bit low in this, I think. So around the same as Fallen Kingdom. I was just like, okay, I like Fallen Kingdom. It's one of my favourites of the Jurassic World trilogy. So I'm going to be ignoring the critics on this and going in with a blank mind and be like, okay, I want to experience this myself before giving a verdict. And honestly, fuck the critics. It is fucking an entertaining movie. It's what I'm going to sum up as a popcorn flick. a summer blockbuster, basically. One that, it's not going to be designed to win awards. Yeah, it might be designed to win like a visual effects awards maybe, or a sound, obviously an award for its soundtrack. But in terms of everything else about it, it's designed more for an audience member to go, I'm shutting my brain off, I'm kicking back, and I'm enjoying this movie. And that's what this is. It's a movie that literally, I said to Hayden when we walked out afterwards, I was like, it's a movie that goes from set piece to set piece to set piece to set piece. So it's very basic in that sense, but that does work in its favour because set piece after set piece is it's dinosaurs. And if you're being honest, if you're going to a Jurassic World movie or a Jurassic Park movie, you're going for the dinosaurs. That's it, simple as that. And obviously I know a lot of people were pissed off with Dominion because it obviously introduced the Locust plot line, and obviously a lot of people didn't like that. But obviously this one goes, okay, yes, we're doing the whole mutation side of it in terms of obviously like the Indoraptor and Indominus Rex. Okay, let's look at like an entire island full of creations that won't see the light of day in a park, and creations that basically the corporations don't want to get rid of. I just realised I left some on over here. There we go. I don't know if you could hear that fan blasting in the background. I completely forgot I left it on. I don't like leaving them on during recordings because just in case the mic picks up the sound. But yeah, so obviously it's the idea of going to one of these islands and seeing all these fucked up creations like the Mutadon, which is basically like a raptor with wings. The D-Rex, which is it's obviously the movie's big antagonist, its big final boss essentially, which is like their own basically T-Rex, which is kind of like I think the director described it as a mix between the Rancor from Star Wars, the Xenomorph Queen from Aliens, and like a couple of other things he said as well. But obviously it's big antagonist, and that's the only thing I will say is annoying is that they kind of don't do much with that creature. In this one, it's literally saved for the final act. But then again, it got me thinking afterwards when I was like, I wish they did a bit more of it. The Indoraptor didn't do much, really. Let's save that for the final act. And though I was annoyed originally, and I still am, because I wish we got a little bit more of it. I'm also on the fence of, well, I can understand it's big antagonist. It needs to be saved for the final act. Like I said, the Indoraptor, like the Gigantosaurus in the last one. It's not like the Indominus or the T-Rex or the Raptors or the Spinosaurus in the original trilogy and Jurassic World, where they were very much heavy throughout. This movie is pretty much more in line with the last two, I'd say Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, where you've got your dinosaurs spread out throughout. Look at Fallen Kingdom, it's in a sense of you obviously got the stuff with the island early on, then you got the stuff with the facility, and at the facility then they introduce obviously the Indoraptor, the main antagonist. Then with Dominion, you got all these different set pieces throughout, and then again, so obviously you got Malta, the opening sequence stuff with obviously the Parasaurolophus and the Brachiosaur, or whichever one it actually was in that one. I don't think it's Brachiosaur off the top of my head, but one along that line. And then obviously you had the Gigantosaurus save for the final act after they dealt with like the Pyroraptor and stuff when they were in Biosyn. So this one is more in line with them in the sense that these dinosaurs are spread out throughout. The Mosasaur, the Spinosaurs, the Quetzalcoatlus, along that line, the T-Rex, all these spread out throughout, and then that Mutadon is saved right for that final conflict. And say it's one of those ones where I kind of wish we got a little bit more of him, but at the same time, I mean, out of all of them, it's probably the most dangerous because it's literally a mutant. It's literally not an actual dinosaur. So it's probably the most deadly. And for the fact that the movie doesn't, without spoiling, doesn't do the classic Jurassic World thing at the end, I can understand probably why it wasn't more heavily involved. But still, it's just like, that aside, visually it's stunning. The sound is awesome for this. The cast are very fun to watch. It's a different story. It's not like if you look at most of the Jurassic World trilogy to an extent, apart from Dominion, were basically remakes of the Jurassic Park trilogy. So Jurassic World was just Jurassic Park, but on steroids. Fallen Kingdom was pretty much the Lost World. So Dominion was the only one really that tried something different. Didn't get the response it wanted. And to be fair, this is the exact same. This has got a better audience response. Actually, about the same audience response from what I can tell online. But still, it's one of those ones where this one again tries something different. To an extent, it's got the Jurassic Park 3 in it with more specifically the family plotline that's in this movie. So it's and the whole them getting stranded on the island. So it's got that sort of plotline in it, and this monster that's bigger and more deadlier than anything I've ever seen. So you can argue it's got at least a Jurassic World side to it, a Jurassic Park 3 side to it, and then in terms of them having an end goal, which is obviously the medicine, trying to make money off these dinosaurs, you can argue it's got the Fallen Kingdom vibe to it, since that's obviously that they're trying to do. They're trying to get the dinosaurs to then sell off. So you can argue it's got some level of similarities to other ones, but then at the same time, it is this different one because they never really looked at these dinosaurs from the medical perspective. So at least this does do something different there. And as I say, I don't mind the jumping set piece to set piece. It's fun. It keeps you on your edge of your seat because it does take a little while to get going, and when it does get going, it's pretty much non-stop. And so you get these new dinosaurs back to back to back to back, and I really enjoyed that. I really had fun with that. I really dug some of the new mutant designs, and even though the dinosaurs we haven't yet seen, like the Titanosaur and stuff like that, I enjoyed seeing them for the first time on the big screen. But it's one of those films where just shut your brain off. Just don't go into it expecting this, well, Oscar-winning fucking movie, because you're not going to get an Oscar-winning movie. The only time you can get one is at the original Jurassic Park, which this tries to capture. It tries to capture Spielberg in general. This does, because I mean, there's clearly Jaws with the Mosasaur stuff, and the T-Rex river raft scene, which is obviously the scene from the original book, which they tried to do. Well, they wanted to do in the original movie, but budget reasons meant they couldn't do it, and they finally have done it for this one, and it was as good as I would have. Obviously, I'd hoped it would have been, because it did show a little bit off in the trailer, and I was like, okay, this looks pretty cool, and to actually see the whole sequence play out, how tense it actually is pretty good. I mean, the only thing I complained about afterwards was the river raft somehow withstanding the bite force of the T-Rex, but that's going too many spoilers there. But still, it's one of those ones that it's just fun. It's a fun movie. So with some awesome set pieces. I mean, let's say for seeing these new dinosaurs, it's great. Seeing these old ones brought back and the different design to them, the more realistic at time design. I mean, the Spinosaurus, my little chubby Spinosaurus is in this one. I mean, seeing the spiny back is excellent. I mean, it's not as menacing as the Jurassic Park 3 one. I mean, that one's fucking amazing, the look of that, but I don't hate these ones. I mean, you're going to get them briefly, and they cause so much chaos when we get them. It's incredible. I mean, the T-Rex plays a much smaller role than I thought it would have. It literally is just in one sequence of the movie, and that's it. But we've had the T-Rex for so many years now that I mean, the original movie was packaged around it and the Raptor. Lost World, the exact same. The only one that really didn't utilize him heavily would have been just Part 3, because they killed it off instantly. I mean, Jurassic World hinted at it throughout, and then obviously used it in the big fight. Fallen Kingdom used it during the island escape, the post-island sequence, and then obviously during its last shots. And then Dominion, it's flashback intro, it's the start of the movie, and then pretty much the end of the movie. So obviously this literally just uses it for one sequence, probably around the middle of the movie. And again, I'm not too fussed with that, for the fact that T-Rex is the big one, as long as it has this one big moment, I can look past it not being as heavy, because the whole point of this is we're looking more at these new dinosaurs and the mutant side of it. Specifically, of course, the D-Rex, the Mutadons. So I'm okay with the T-Rex taking that step back for this one, as long as he has that one big scene. And I'm happy that they went, you know what, let's go with the river raft scene. If we're not going to use him or her throughout, let's go big on it. Let's go with this massive sequence that Spielberg wanted to do originally, couldn't do. Let us finally do it and bring it to life. Yes, it won't have the same feel as obviously using Grant, Lex, and Tim, obviously on their travels to try and get back to the obviously the visitor center. It won't have that same feel, but you know, it's going to be just as scary because there's another little kid involved in the sequence, and it generally was. I remember I could hear someone like just gasp during obviously this sequence, and it obviously it was that intense. And generally, probably one of the two best moments of the movie. The other one being the first we get the mosasaur stuff, the mosasaur hunt when they're trying to get the DNA from that. That too was obviously such an intense sequence that eventually brought in the Spinosauruses, and utter chaos followed. There's generally some really good cinematography in this as well. Some really good shots where, like for example, like someone walks behind something, and then they're gone, and you're like, okay, that's not a good sign. I know it's in one of the trailers, at least, the start of the river rafting with the T-Rex, when obviously it's asleep, she inflates the raft, it's clearly moving, the raft goes down, and it's gone. Like, that was a really cool shot, and then the pivot of seeing it walk in the background is even better. The shot of it underwater, a lot of the stuff underwater, the shots of the creature underwater is really good. So it's just generally some really nice cinematography. A lot of callbacks to the old movies. I say a lot of Spielberg references, a lot of stuff that basically would feel like it's straight from a Spielberg movie. I mean, as I say, Jaws is the big one. I mean, well, Jurassic Park technically is the big one, but if you look at anything not Jurassic Park related, because we're in a Jurassic Park / World movie, obviously Jaws is the big one with the mosasaur stuff. Because as I say, there's a whole literal shot when it's like gliding through the water, and you're like, it's just Bruce from Jaws. As I say, I really enjoyed myself with this movie. I mean, I managed to get this bad boy of a popcorn bucket after the movie. I didn't know it existed until after the movie, because the guy, well, until the start of the movie, because the guy obviously that comes in and tells you, oh, keep your phones off and shit like that. It was like, oh, we got these popcorn buckets. I mean, I couldn't see it because it was pitch black in there, but I went in afterwards, and I mean, for £9, I mean, it's literally the size of a fucking like small bin. A lot bigger than my Star Wars one I had a few years ago. But to be fair, this is the first popcorn bucket I've even seen at my local cinema since then. Because normally there's been doing the cups, but weirdly they haven't done a cup whatsoever. Not like some other ones. Some other cinemas, which I don't go to, have got some fucking really cool cups, and it's annoying that this one doesn't have them. But I will take the popcorn bucket. I've got a lot of fucking cups, so I'll take the popcorn bucket, which has got all the dinosaurs on, including the new one. Obviously, well, the new, essentially, baby, which apparently is like fully grown, Dolores, which is absolutely cute in the movie, and it's fun to watch. It's like me, just keep eating sweets, and obviously you got all the other dinosaurs, and then on the inside you got the classic logo and some more pictures. The only thing not on there is D-Rex, which is a bit weird, but I can let it slide that it's not on there, because to be fair, this one's more showing off the actual dinosaurs, so I can kind of let it slide that it's not on there. So I've also managed to pick up the little Lego set of Dolores, which I'm going to do at some point, because I recently built the baby T-Rex one from Jurassic World, and I mean, Hayden literally walked in not long ago and delivered me the baby Ankylosaur from Jurassic World, which baby Bumpy, which technically speaking would be Smoothie from Chaos Theory, but I'm not gonna nitpick that. But yeah, obviously I've just really got back into Jurassic World lately because of it, and I'm interested to see if they do any more after this. If they go obviously if they're quick enough at jumping on the gun at a eighth installment, or if they're gonna just hold back. Because realistically, after Dominion, you at least thought there'd be maybe like a 10-year gap, like there was with the just over 10-year gap technically with the original one, original trilogy and Jurassic World starting. I thought, okay, maybe they'll hold back and won't release another one just yet. But obviously, as I said earlier, they're clearly just realizing it's a fucking gold mine. It's an absolute fucking gold mine. So let's do this. Let's make another one, and we'll see over the next few weeks how well it does, because it has come out at a pretty like iffy time, because you've literally got Superman coming out, you've got Fantastic Four coming out, so it's kind of obviously it's the back end of that F1 movie, so it's packaged this time around so many big blockbusters. That it's going to be interesting to see how well it actually does. I mean, I think it's predicted to at least get into the 100 million region on its first, obviously, 5 days. So that's not too bad of a start. I mean, I'm not too sure what its budget is. My phone's over there, so I can't really check. And it's having issues at the moment, so I'm not going to touch that just yet. So it'd be interesting to see how well it does. And so I hope it does well enough that I don't need like another installment like straight away. I mean, I say I could wait fucking 5, 6, 7 plus years before they do another one. But I mean, it's a franchise that I absolutely love, absolutely hold dear to my heart. I mean, Hayden and I covered like the entire movie franchise plus the short film. Back in 2022 now. I will at some point probably cover the actual animated show, because I'm enjoying that. I've literally just finished the 3rd season, is it, of Chaos Theory? Obviously, I've got to wait for the 4th season, which comes out in November. I mean, I absolutely love the season. It was so good. So at some point, I might start sitting through the shows one by one and then do them as well as an episode. But I say, it's just a franchise I absolutely love. I mean, I'm a sucker for good dinosaurs movies, and this is why I'm looking forward to the Primitive War film when it comes out this year, because I read the book, loved the book. I want to see what they do with that film, which I know has got a couple of dinosaurs that you see in this movie, plus some you don't. So we'll see how that goes later this year. As I say, I'm sucker for a good popcorn flick, and I'm sucker for a good dinosaur flick. And Jurassic World Rebirth for me is both. It's both a good popcorn flick, one that you can shoot your brain off, just enjoy, and it's a good dinosaur movie because you get to see dinosaurs eat people, you get to see dinosaurs rampage, you get to see some unique looking dinosaurs that don't exist, or had never existed, sorry. Don't exist means they exist now. None of them exist now. So, obviously, I did obviously see people obviously talk about the fact that it's kind of, to an extent, undoes what Dominion did with the obviously, where that movie left off being, okay, dinosaurs are now roaming the world. It's kind of, I saw people talk about the fact that this kind of undoes that very early on, and without spoiling it, I agree and disagree. I can see that, and I said to Hayden afterwards, like, okay, maybe we could have had another movie before this, which deals with the aftermath of Dominion a bit more and shows, obviously, the dinosaurs running rampage a bit more. But then at the same time, I was like, but obviously, how they obviously explain it in the movie, the scientific perspective of it, I was like, okay, I can understand that side of it as well. I can understand that these dinosaurs wouldn't be suited for most climates in the world. So I can understand that they may struggle, and there's just certain areas where they're isolated in. So it's one of those ones where I'm on the fence again. I can understand, but then I can see another side of it and be like, okay, they could have done this instead then. And then done this one after this. But as I say, it's one of those ones where I'm just on the fence, and that's where I'm going to sit, because for the sake of this movie, it makes sense how they've worked around it. But as I say, they could have easily got another movie or two out of it, especially after watching the finale of Chaos Theory, where obviously you get to see a bit more of the Molter and you get to see more of the carnage that the dinosaurs are causing. That would have been cool for like the entire movie, fully seeing that, because Dominion did it to an extent before obviously landing us in Biosyn. It would have been interesting to see a bit more of that throughout an entire like 2-hour run time, which is what this is. It's just over 2 hours, I think it was. This movie is, so it's a lot shorter than Dominion was, which is good. it didn't need this like 2-3 hour this 2.5 hour 3 hour movie. It just needed a good 2 hours. Introduce your characters, give them a reason for being here, give them a little backstory to an extent, and you're good to go. People aren't here for the characters; they're here for the dinosaurs. Let's just go to it, and that's what this movie does. It gives characters a few talking moments where they can explain their backstory, how sad it is, and stuff like that, and then bang, dinosaurs. So yeah, I'm trying to think of something else to say. I can't think of anything else to say off the top of my head. Other than I do like Dolores. It is a cute little dinosaur and funny to watch. And so action, humor, some tense, scary moments. This movie does it all, and that's basically the Jurassic Park formula. It is a simple Jurassic Park entry, a simple Jurassic World entry. It's not convoluted. It's just simple as, okay, here's an island, here's your dinos. They aren't normal dinos. Go for it. I think the only thing, obviously, one thing I noticed as well, in the trailer, they're like, this is the research facility for Jurassic Park, but it's not. It's very clearly early on that it's a research facility for Jurassic World, because obviously this is a program time, obviously maybe just after they were doing the Indominus experiments, so it's more linked with that. And I enjoyed that idea. I enjoyed the idea of I enjoyed it more of them linking it to Jurassic World than to actual Jurassic Park, because them linking it to Jurassic Park, I don't know. I feel like the idea of them going, okay, you want to see the actual facilities where they created the likes of the Indominus. Here's your movie for it, and I think that worked better really than going, okay, these are just failed experiments from Jurassic Park. Well, these aren't failed experiments from Jurassic Park. These are a mixture of failed and probably dinosaurs that could end up in Jurassic World. So I don't know why they used that line in the trailer, being like it's Jurassic Park research. That didn't make any sense. But still, look past that. Look at the popcorn flick it is. Jurassic World Rebirth is a simple 9 out of 10 for me. It's, as I say, it's had me laughing, had me on the edge of my seat, and it had fucking dinosaurs. So what can you want more than that? Obviously, if you've seen Jurassic World Rebirth, put your thoughts in the comments below. Obviously, you can check out the entire Jurassic reviews that we've done. I'll link all of them in the comments below on YouTube, so you can check all them out. I'll even link the short film review, which wasn't part of the podcast, but you can check that out anyway. I've done Jurassic World Evolution 2 once on this channel, and I did the Telltale series of Jurassic Park, which I'll link all in the description below. So there's a lot of Jurassic Park / World stuff on this channel you can check out if you enjoyed this episode. Obviously, you can check out the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Audible, etc., etc., and of course on YouTube, where you can see these other videos. I'm looking at doing more of Jurassic World Evolution at some point, and I will do Jurassic World Evolution 3 when it comes out, or at least some point around when it comes out. There's a lot of games out in October, so bear with me if it's not straight away. But obviously, if you're just into dinosaurs, I did the Prehistoric Kingdom game with Hayden, which was a lot of fun. That like a sandbox mode on that. So again, I'll link that below. I say, other than that, I can't think of anything else. I just had a fun time with Jurassic World Rebirth. I didn't go into it expecting like a masterpiece. I didn't go into expecting it to be exactly like Jurassic Park in terms of quality. I went into it in the same mindset of, it's a Jurassic World movie, it's dinosaurs, it should be decent enough, and I was not disappointed whatsoever. It's a worthy entry into the franchise that knows how to have fun. So yeah, I can't really think of anything else. So obviously, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
If you like what you've seen, don't be afraid to throw us a little like and subscribe. That's always very appreciated over here. And well, I'll see you on the next video.